This is 13 News Now.
Well, winter is officially here, even though it feels like it's been hovering over Hampton Roads for some time.
Yeah, right now it looks beautiful out there at the ocean front, but don't let this picture fool you. Jeff is tracking the latest temperatures blowing through our area. Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, and one of the reasons it's going to get chilly tonight is the fact that it is clear. That shot was looking east. This is from Hampton, and it's looking to the west. And as you can see, we don't have any clouds in that direction either, so we don't have anything to track on radar. No clouds to act like a blanket tonight. As a result, temperatures will be dropping pretty quickly. Right now, we're at 45 degrees. You can see that wind light out of the north-northeast at 7 miles per hour. Dew points in the low 30s right now, so that'll keep us from going too much below that in areas near the coastline. Now inland, it'll set less of a flow. So we have very warm Saturday setting up, but then a front moves in. We had talked about this yesterday. The high Sunday, as I also mentioned, is going to be just after midnight Saturday night, like 12:01 a.m. Sunday morning. Colder Sunday and Monday, still a small chance for a flurry. A lot of people want to see something like that happening during the day on Christmas, so there's a slight chance. It is worth mentioning, but it's not a very good risk. As you can see, temperatures this evening then do drop down into the 30s, and then they're going to sort of hold steady a little bit later tonight as that sort of portends the warmer air beginning to move in from the south. How warm? Well, I'll tell you more coming up.
Thanks, Jeff. Okay, all eyes are watching the 94th House District in Newport News. In fact, right now, this House of Delegates race is grabbing headlines all over the country.
That's right. That after a recount gave Democrat Shelley Simons a one-vote lead over David Yancey. Yancey then challenged the final count. And when it all came out, it came down to one ballot. A three-judge panel ruled it should be counted for Yancey, bringing him and Simons their votes to 11,608 each on the ballot. The voter filled in the bubbles for both candidates, then they crossed out the Simons bubble. The judges did not cite a specific reason for the reversal. If Simons wins, it would eventually split the House between Republicans and Democrats, something that hasn't happened in nearly 20 years.
The idea that the center of the political universe for a day would be in the 94th district. The idea that whether that 50-50 balance was going to hinge on one person's vote, I mean, you just couldn't script a political drama any better than this.
So here's how the winner will be selected. The Virginia Board of Elections will place each candidate's name into separate film canisters. The canisters will be placed in a glass bowl and shaken. That's when a board member will pick the winner at random. This will happen Wednesday, December 27th at 11 a.m. in the Patrick Henry Building in Richmond. Another less dramatic recount is over in the Commonwealth. Democrat Dawn Adams clinched her seat as the delegate for the 68th House District. The recount was requested by Republican Manoli Lupasi, who held the seat since 2009. Taxpayers only cover the cost of a recount if the margin of victory is within half of a percentage point. That wasn't the case here. For this recount, Lupasi will pay for it. Officials estimate it will likely cost about $20,000.
So how do other states handle this type of situation? For that, we reached out to the North Carolina State Board of Elections and Ethics Enforcement. They tell us there's a statute for this issue. You see it here. It says that if there's a tie and at least 5,000 people voted, the board can order a new election. It also says if less than 5,000 people cast official ballots and it's a tie, the board can break the tie by choosing a random method. That could include breaking ties by coin toss, drawing colored pens, and pulling names from a bowl. Okay, we've got some breaking news out of Norfolk. A moped rider is dead after a crash with a car on East Princess Anne Road. That's near Salter Street, you see here.
Now, we've learned the driver of that car had left the scene. 13 News Now reporter Chanu Her reports from the crime scene. Chanu.
Well, Philip and Regina, I'm right here where this crash happened, right here on Salter Street in East Princess Anne. So the street here just cleared not that long ago, but for several hours it was closed from basically Monticello all the way down to Church Street while police investigated this deadly crash here. Now, we have been told that the person driving the moped is a man. He died shortly after he was taken to the hospital, but police are still looking for the vehicle that hit him. They believe it is a blue SUV or minivan with heavy damage to the front. That person took off shortly after this crash happened. Now, police say they want to thank the Norfolk community because there were people who stopped by and helped this man before police got here to help with this scene here. Now, police say if you know any information, you are asked to call them. Right now, they know the name of the man, but they are not identifying him to us yet until they have told his family about the situation. And we'll continue to be on top of this and bring you the latest right here on 13 News Now. Live in Norfolk, Chanu Hart, 13 News Now.
Thank you, Chanu. Okay, a teenager in Portsmouth is being tried as an adult for allegedly shooting a police officer. Portsmouth police say 15-year-old Will Patterson Jr. shot Officer Angelina Baclini when she tried to detain him. That was last month. She was shot 5 times, but her bulletproof vest stopped one of those rounds. Patterson is facing 10 charges, including attempted capital murder on a law enforcement officer. The judge dismissed 2 other charges, including escape from law enforcement.
Now, just in time for the holiday rush, a new connector is helping to cut down on traffic in Norfolk.
Yeah, 13 News Now reporter Megan Shin is at the new connector on I-564. Megan, you say the east side is open now.
Phil and Regina, that's correct. The eastbound lanes are now finally open for the port transport in less than 2 hours ago. So they were running a little bit behind as far as the crews over there. They were putting the finishing details on the eastbound lanes, including finding one misplaced sign that they later on put up there. And here on the westbound lanes, they're putting the finishing details over here as well. But that could take at least a few more hours. Now, of course, both sides are streamlined specifically for I-564 to the Norfolk International Terminals. Now, Virginia Department of Transportation says this connector will open to the public next fall at the very latest. But for right now, this new connector is the most recent asset to the Virginia Port Authority's largest terminal in Hampton Roads.
We'll eventually get to a point where we're taking upwards of 700 trucks a day off Hampton Boulevard by this direct access that you see over here onto 564.
It's taken about 2.5 years worth of construction work alone to get to this point. Of course, stay with us here on 13 News Now at 5 o'clock. We'll keep you updated on the opening of these westbound lanes. Reporting live in Norfolk, I'm Megan Shin, 13 News Now.
Now to a live look at the roads from our traffic network. Driving will be a big part of the next few days as we get closer to Christmas. This is the most dangerous time of year for drivers. DUIs skyrocket during the holidays. Now local police are stepping up patrol and checkpoints. A national campaign called Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over is hitting home the reality of drunk driving. 13 News Now reporter Elise Brown has more on the push.
A startling view, devastation caused by a drunk driver.
Oh my goodness. This is real life. You hear those sounds and those screams that are muffled in the background.
This interactive video shows the accident from various perspectives: law enforcement, medics, and fire crews. It's a campaign by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration to show the dangers of driving under the influence. Corporal Melinda Ray with the Norfolk Police Department is seeing this video for the first time.
From the perspective to be on the gurney and then being pulled into the ambulance, I mean, this is impressive.
The 360-degree video is called No Big Deal. Ray, like many other people in law enforcement, knows the devastation accidents can cause.
Holding that lifeless body in your hands is something that you'll never forget.
According to the NHTSA, over the past 5 years, during the Christmas to New Year's timeframe, an average of 300 people died in drunk driving crashes.
Sober driving is the only safe way to drive. One drink alone, that's where the impairment begins.
Ray says, plan a way to get home, whether that's a ride share, cab, or designated driver. And if you're on the road and not under the influence, you need to be mindful of drivers who may be.
Wear your seatbelts. If you have kids in the car, ensure that they're properly restrained.
Taking precautions to make sure everyone has a happy holiday. In Norfolk, Elise Brown, 13 News Now.